couple months ago, I almost got kidnapped, and I was walking home from school, and this guy just stopped, and he was pretending that his car was down. His car wasn't working and everything, and I walked right past, and I looked back, and his car was perfectly fine, and he started following me. And I was walking home from school, and I just kept walking and walking. I got really scared, and then somehow he looked back, and I dived into a bush, and I covered myself with my backpack, and my backpack screened so it blended into the bushes. And so he couldn't find me. And then there's a couple streets behind where I live, and he circled around right back, and I was still walking, and I got the feeling again, and I looked back, and there he was again, and it really frightened me. And so so I ran home, and my next door neighbor was planting in some palm trees, and luckily he was out digging and stuff, so I just split and I ran right to my street. And then he took off because he saw the other people, and they were afraid that I would tell, and so he just took off.
This is a program about children, for children and their parents. It's a program about a national epidemic called child abduction. Many of you know someone who has been abducted, and you know the tragedy within that family. What we hope to accomplish here through this film is an opportunity to teach parents and kids alike how to be safe. I want to read you some scripture that gives us a foundation for God's safety. It's from the book of Psalms, the 56th chapter, and it reads like this: "But when I was afraid, I will put my confidence in you. Yes, I will trust the promises of God. And since I am trusting Him, what can mere man do to me? All their thoughts are how to harm me. They meet together to perfect their plans. They hide beside the trail, listening for my steps, waiting to kill me. They expect to get away with it. Don't let them, Lord. In anger, cast them to the ground. You have seen me tossing and turning through the night. You have collected all my tears and preserved them in your bottle. You have recorded every one in your book. The very day I call for your help, the tide of battle turns. My enemies flee. This one thing I know, God is for me. I am trusting God. Oh, praise His promises. I'm not afraid of anything mere man can do to me, for you have saved me from death, so I can walk among the living." There's a cruel story told among children sometimes on the playground or maybe in your home. It's the story about a sister or a brother or a young student that someone's at odds with and they are angry with. And they say, "I hope your picture shows up on a milk carton." Well, in reality, milk carton stories are just filled with pain. So let's walk together, let's learn together, and let's be wise together.
Hey, little boy, come here. Come here. Your mommy's been hurt. Come here, your mommy's hurt. We need to help.
No!
Come on. We gotta go. Son, come here. I need you to come with me. Come on. Come on.
No!
Hey, want to come pet my dog? Say, I think he likes you.
Puppy.
Hey, I've got some food in the car, and I need somebody to help me feed him. Will you come with me?
No!
Hey, little girl, come here. Do you want some candy? I've got some candy for you.
No!
One of the most common ways that children are approached by a potential abductor is through the offer of money. And kids, if somebody offers you money, you know what you're to do now. You're to say no, run, and tell a trusted adult. And if you'll tell your mother or your father that that person offered you some money, I know they'll give you the money and a hug. We want to share with you an idea. It's the idea of a secret password that's between parents and your children. Now, it's a lot of fun for the children to have secrets, and they need to keep this one because it could save their lives. An idea for a secret password might be a Bible verse, or it might be a family name, or a secret family saying. But it could be some Bible characters, like the word Emmanuel, which means God with us, or maybe Mary, representing Jesus' mother, or Joseph, his earthly father. And so, when you think about a secret password, you want to keep it very, very secret, kids. And moms and dads, it's very important to have this instilled in your child's life. And you know, you can change that password too every once in a while, and that even makes it more fun. Ask the kids what they would like their password to be, and then keep it a secret. And so you're going to see an example of how this might work. And so watch. It'll be a lot of fun, but it could save a life. Hey, Daniel. Your mom said she couldn't make it, and she wanted me to come and take you home.
What's the secret password?
Emmanuel. Let's go. Kids, let me tell you what you're supposed to do if somebody comes up to you and you feel kind of uncomfortable in your stomach. That uncomfortable feeling, it's kind of like when you get a test back in school and you didn't study for it. You know how you feel like that? You kind of go, Well, sometimes an adult might come up to you or an older kid and you feel uncomfortable about them. Here's what you're supposed to do. You're to say no. Okay, on 3, I want you all to say no. Real loud now. 1, 2, 3. No! The second thing you're to do is to run away. Run to a lighted place or where there's a lot of other people or home or where you know that somebody is there for you. The third thing you're to do is to tell a trusted friend. And you know who a trusted friend is. We've talked about that. A uniformed police officer, your mom or dad or somebody like that. And in so doing that, guess what? You'll be safe. So never forget. Now, what are the 3 things? The first thing you do is say no. No. The second thing you do is what? Run. And the third thing you do is tell a trusted friend. Thank you. I think that's going to be great. Do any of you have any questions you'd like to ask? Yes, Daniel? Your question.
If somebody's trying to kidnap you or whatever, can you jump into a bush?
Well, you know, if you jump in the bush, you can't see much, can you? It's better to run to a well-lit place or where there are lots of people. So that would be preferred. Now, I'm sure that there are some circumstances where that might be okay, but mostly you want to run to where it's very well lit. When I was a policeman, I used to have to take reports on children that sometimes were abducted, and boy, it's really a hard thing to do. And when they would run somewhere, they would be safe. So you do that each time. Yes, Nathan?
Should you yell as loud as you can and make a lot of noise?
Oh, that's great. Lots of noise. Like when you say no loud, and you can yell and make a... And you're very good at making noise, I know. So you're probably the best noisemaker I know. Anthony, what's your question?
If you're running, should you climb a tree?
Well, if you climb a tree, they might climb up after you, so it's better to run somewhere. Isn't that right? Okay. Any other questions anybody has? Lauren, what's your question?
Well, if you were like at soccer practice or something, and your friend was supposed to pick you up and she didn't show up at soccer practice, and a guy came and said that he was supposed to pick you up, then what should you do?
Lauren, that's an excellent question. Probably the way most children are abducted are situations just like that. If the person that comes to the soccer game or comes to school or wherever you might be and says, you know, your mom said for me to come pick you up, if they don't have the secret password, then you're to say no, run away, and tell a trusted friend. There's a lot of people that would hurt us, and we have to be very, very safe. Because, you know, we really matter to God, and you're very, very important to Him, and we need to be very, very wise. So thanks for your question, and everyone, let's be very, very safe. If anybody tries to abduct you or kidnap you, tell a trusted friend. That could be a Sunday school teacher or a school teacher, might be the playground director, or a uniformed police officer, certainly your mother and your father. If it's a uniformed police officer you're talking to, make sure that they have a marked police car, that they have a badge, and that they have a name tag. And another thing that's important, policemen by normal policy do not handcuff children under 14 years of age unless it's really, really serious. So if you see somebody kind of handcuffing a young child that looks sort of like a policeman, that's an awfully scary thing. And you're to tell a trusted adult. Well, they'll always be glad you told them, and remember, you never get in trouble for helping.
Hi, somebody's trying to kidnap a kid, and I'm at the playground, and I'm going to go try to find a trusted adult.
One situation that might occur is when you're on the playground or playing in the street or at school, and you see another child, maybe your age, a little older, a little younger, where some adult comes by and wants to take them someplace, and you know, it just doesn't feel right. And in your tummy, you feel kind of queasy, and you think, you know, something's not right. Well, there are two things that you can do to really help that person, and you will not get in trouble for doing it. One is you can go to a trusted adult, like the playground director or somebody at the parks, or maybe somebody that's a teacher at the school or a neighbor that you know, and tell them immediately. The second thing that you can do is go to the phone and call 911 and talk to the man or the woman and tell them what you saw. And you know what else? You'll never get in trouble for telling a trusted adult or calling 911 when something may be wrong.
Another advice to the kids of my age, don't talk to strangers, that's number one. Have a password always with you and have it memorized. And if you see like somebody trying to kidnap another person, do what on the other video said, that go to a nearest phone and call 911, and that's the way that you should do it.
The Bible has a warning for those that would harm children. Jesus' own words in Luke chapter 17, verse 2 says, "If he were thrown into the sea with a huge rock tied to his neck, he would be far better off than facing the punishment in store for those who harm these little children. I am warning you." And so there is great punishment, and we can be assured that God is just and fair. Well, kids, thanks for listening. We want to teach you a lot about life, and we want to teach you to trust adults, but only adults that deserve your trust. And so always listen to that voice inside you and be very, very careful. And adults, as you listen to this program, have a lot of dialogue with your children. Remember, agree upon that password together. Make it fun, make it exciting, but review it often. There is no city, there is no community that is free from this terrible tragedy of child abduction. But I pray with you that it'll never happen to you or to mine. Let's remember then, the first thing to do when you have that uncomfortable feeling inside your gut, you say, no. Those kids were great, weren't they? Don't they know how to say no? And then they're to run as fast as they can, and then they're to tell a trusted adult. So parents, let's work at being trusted adults for our children. And kids, find trusted adults that your mother and your father and your Sunday school teachers and teachers really do trust and do want you to know. And because of that, we'll all be safer. You know, I believe God has angels that watch over us, as Daniel said. But what's important is God's angels need our help too, because sometimes they just can't do it all by themselves. So if we all learn these lessons, we'll do very, very well, and we'll all be very, very safe to learn and trust and serve our Jesus.